What's up, guys? So you're pitching a VC, and the VC says, so, what will my return be? If you want to know the answer, stick with me now.
Ask Alex. Ask Alex. Because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does the investor mean when they ask that, right? Like many of the questions we have dealt with, investors need to make money to give back to the limited partners. It's not really the founder's job to do the return math for investors. And I don't think it's fair for them to ask. It's kind of lazy and stupid, I think, right? The people who are likely going to ask this are probably ex-wankers, bankers. They think everyone understands the boring things they do. And yes, I was a M&A banker before. Yay. Ultimately, what investors are really getting at is how big of an exit you are looking for. Furthermore, they may be trying to understand if you understand the venture capital business at all. A good answer would not simply just state a number, but show the logic of how you got to a range of numbers. I always prefer a range of numbers than picking a specific number, okay? Ranges are far more credible. Specifics are specious at best. If you want to get an A here, you need to understand how VC math works, okay? We're going to be running through a couple of things here. Now, VCs have this concept called targeted ownership percentage. They can only take so many bets and very few will make it big. So the ones that they do win on, they need to own enough to make their investment compensate for the ones that didn't work, okay? 8 out of 10 basically, and then some. All right, next, follow-ons impact the ownership percentage, okay? Smaller VCs can't follow on in their investment, meaning they can't invest in future rounds. In this case, they'll likely just exit depending on how many rounds get done with about 10, 15% maybe or less of your company. So if you're going to sell for $1 billion, they're going to get like 100, 150 million. Larger VCs are more likely to keep betting on you and still own more, something like 20, 30%. So for $1 billion, you're talking 200 to 300 million. Again, this depends on how much they put in and how heavy they were in taking up your round. Finally, you have your exit value. You sell for $1 billion, that's the end of that, okay? Exit value. You times the exit by the ownership percentage and you know what cash they are getting. Cash on cash is a term VCs use to communicate with their investors. That's simply how much cash they got divided by the amount they invested in. If you want, you can always do an IRR, internal rate of return calculation, and tell an investor what the cash on cash and IRR might be under certain scenarios, but frankly, it's a bit like overkill and like why, when you've really no idea what the future looks like, why are you doing that? Like, just don't do it. Now, yes, of course, this can get a lot more complicated with liquidation preferences if you don't knock it out of the park, but that's the basics. Now, we're going to deal with what you need to say. Okay, well, Jim, that depends on when we sell the company, as well as a number of other factors such as the exit multiple and if we're in a competitive situation, as well as to a lesser extent how much money we raise. To maximize the value of this venture, we are looking to either do a large trade sale to one of the large companies or, surprise, do an IPO. That will, like the average is more than likely take us 6 to 7 years to kind of get there. Now, under our business plan, we could be doing in the range of about 100 million run rate. Assuming private exit multiples in the range of 6 to 10, we could be talking 600 to, a good billion. Typically, an enterprise-sized company raised around 70 million to get to this position, and since we're talking Series A of 7 million, that would imply another 4 rounds of investment where you would be below to 2. Right? We're looking to do our round at around 20 million pre. Now, not to be patronizing, but I'm sure that you can do the math to figure out your ownership percentage, depending on how much you'd follow on. How much do you want to follow on? But these are our expectations and our plan. I'd love to know if this aligns with you, and actually I'd love to know if you plan on doing pro ratas or exceeding that and following on. That'd be useful. Okay guys, that's the end of that question. I hope you found it really useful. If it did, like, comment, share, do all those action things, but do it